Hello and welcome back to Look Movie Recaps. Today, we are going to recap a 2019 movie titled Lucky Day. Please be advised that there will be spoilers ahead. In the opening scene, we meet a man named Red in prison. He is a brilliant thief who can open any vault, but he recently committed a large heist that led to his arrest. Red received a 5-year prison sentence, but his good behavior earned him release after serving 2 years. His wife, Chloe, has come to pick him up and is equally delighted to see Red. After that, both Red and Chloe return home together where we meet Red's daughter, Beatrice. Beatrice was too young to speak when he went to prison, but now she is able to do so. However, Beatrice speaks French, a language Red does not understand. The scene shifts to the airport where we see a man named Luke who is just arriving in America. When the airport officer is verifying Luke's documents, he begins to doubt his reason for coming to America, so he begins questioning Luke. While talking, he discovers that Luke is a psycho, but the officer is unable to take any action against Luke. Following this incident, Luke leaves the airport and heads straight to the parking lot where he proceeds to steal a car. The car's owner then arrives and questions Luke about his theft. He warns him that he is going to call the police, but Luke becomes enraged upon hearing this and slits the man's throat. After that, Luke takes the keys from the man and flees, arriving at a bar where Tom, the owner, is present. As soon as Tom sees Luke, he becomes terrified knowing that Luke is a notorious killer. Luke calms him down and explains, "I haven't come here to kill you, I just want some weapons from you." We learn here that Tom smuggles weapons illegally and has kept this pub running solely to conceal his gun business. After this, Tom takes Luke to the roof and shows him some of the best firearms available, but Luke dislikes them. He then picks up a sniper and begins pointing at the road, shooting a man on sight. He has no regrets about killing an innocent person. As Tom's fear increases and Luke returns to the bar, Tom's friends start making fun of him, oblivious to Luke's deadly nature. After hearing Tom's remarks, Luke becomes enraged, pulls out his gun, and begins murdering Tom's friends. Seeing all of this, Tom realizes that Luke will also kill him, so he hurriedly takes out a shotgun. But Luke notices this and kills Tom as well. Luke gathers all the available weapons and departs, determined to eliminate one of his most significant adversaries. Subsequently, we witness Red at his home intently staring at Chloe's paintings that will soon be on display. Upon seeing those paintings, Red is reminded of the prison walls due to their striking resemblance. Then Chloe walks in and says, "There is an exhibition this evening, so I want you to come." Red complains, but Chloe ignores him and insists that he has to come because the day is very precious to her. After saying this, Chloe leaves and heads straight to her art gallery where she begins showcasing all of her paintings. This attracts the owner of the gallery, Derek, who takes Chloe to his office and begins seducing her, expressing his love for her. After saying this, he starts stroking her. However, Chloe scolds him, stating, "You may not know who my husband is, and if he finds out that you are bothering me, he will not leave you alive." Derek becomes enraged after hearing Chloe's words and says that messing with me will be too much for you. "I have spent a lot of money on your paintings, so if all of them are not sold by the evening, you must return all of the money I have spent on your paintings, or I will file a case against you." When Chloe hears this, she becomes extremely concerned. Following this, we witness Red paying a visit to his friend Leroy, who operates a pawn shop. Previously, Red and Leroy had engaged in joint theft, amassing a total of $500,000. However, this money was hidden in the form of bonds, making it impossible to trace, prompting Red to check on them. During their conversation, a man named Ernesto enters the room. Ernesto, a police officer, frees Red from prison based on him having been a parole officer for a long time. Ernesto searches Red, suspecting he may have drugs or weapons. However, he finds nothing, so he releases Red into parts. After leaving, Red opens a door and follows Leroy to the basement where a large vault awaits them. Leroy informs Red that all the bonds they had stolen are safe in this vault and he wants to test his ability to open it. Despite Red's repeated attempts, he is unable to open it due to his 2-year prison sentence and the long absence of practice. Leroy assures Red, "Don't worry, you've only missed practice. I'm sure you'll start opening the vault again in a few days." After this, we see Luke looking at a car and coming near. He starts talking to its owner, but the owner of the car talks rudely to Luke because he didn't know how dangerous Luke is. Luke doesn't like the way he talks, so he pulls out his gun, kills the man, and takes his car. But Luke didn't know that this is a jumping car, so whenever he applies any gear, the wheels of the car start doing different movements. But he manages to drive off. The scene shifts to the art gallery where Red and his friend Leroy have arrived. Chloe is ecstatic to see them there, and we also see Ernesto who has also come to the art exhibition. However, the people who have come do not like the paintings at all, claiming that they lack any meaning. Red becomes irritated after hearing such comments. Next, we see Red's daughter Beatrice at home with her teacher Lolita. It was time for both of them to go to sleep when someone rang their doorbell. When Lolita opened the door, Luke was standing outside. Luke started approaching the house. Lolita stopped him, but Luke ignored her. Lolita began to doubt this unknown man, so she took a knife and attempted to stop him. However, Luke stabbed Lolita in the stomach. After witnessing all of this, Beatrice becomes extremely frightened and starts running away. Luke notices her running and shoots at her, but Beatrice manages to go far enough away to save her life. Here we discover that Luke has traveled to America solely to assassinate Red, blaming him for his brother's death, a fact that deeply infuriates him, as no one has ever managed to escape his grasp. Upon contemplating this, Luke's rage intensifies, prompting him to begin scouring the house. Upon discovering the art gallery's exhibition card, he deduces Red's location and departs for the gallery. On the other side, we see Beatrice, who has come to the art gallery. But Luke also arrives and he starts firing indiscriminately with his gun, killing everyone in front of him. Luke continued to kill everyone despite the fact that the blood of the people was now splattering the paintings and people were shouting. Ernesto was also present and he began shooting at Luke, but no one was able to stop him. Bullets hit Leroy here, causing him to fall down. Red promises to take him to the hospital, but Leroy knows he won't survive, so he gives Red the vault key before he passes away. Red takes the key and starts running with his wife and daughter, but Luke sees him fleeing and starts shooting at them in their car. They manage to knock him off and drive away. Chloe, feeling frightened, asks Red who's that one trying to kill them. Red informs Chloe about the bonds he and Leroy snatched together, stating that they remain secure despite the rumors circulating that they have destroyed them. Chloe, upon hearing this, asserts that they must retrieve these bonds and cash them, as failure to do so could result in her boss's imprisonment. She cites the destruction of the art gallery today along with the damage to all her paintings as the only remaining bonds that could be useful to them. Red arrives at Leroy's shop in his car and asks Chloe and Beatrice to remain in the car. He promises to bring all the bonds with him. After saying this, he heads to the basement. While in the car, Chloe was waiting for Red when Luke came and pointed a gun at Beatrice. Luke takes them both to the basement to find Red, who has taken out all the bonds. When Red sees Luke in the basement, he realizes that Luke will no longer leave anyone alive. He tells Luke, "Take all these bonds and if you want you can kill me too, but leave my wife and daughter." Hearing this, Luke responds, "You don't talk about bonds anyway. After killing you I will take it." Red realizes what is about to happen to him and begins to devise a plan to escape. However, Luke unexpectedly shoots Red with his gun. Beatrice was near Red, and in an attempt to save his daughter, he placed her inside the vault. Luke then locked the vault, ensuring that the girl would suffocate to death inside. He knew that the girl inside would not be able to breathe for long and would die soon. Chloe begins to run away from Luke at this point, but Luke catches up to her and attacks her head, knocking her unconscious. At this point, we see Red, who is still alive, and the bullet Luke fired at him struck the vault key that Leroy had given him. Red attempts to open the vault, but the bullet bends the vault's key, preventing Red from using it. He reassures Beatrice, saying, "Don't worry, I will get you out of there soon." During this process, Luke arrives and initiates a fight with Red. After a protracted battle, Luke draws his pistol. Just as Luke was about to kill Red, Ernesto arrived and pointed the gun at him. Unfazed, Luke forced Ernesto to shoot at him, causing him to fall to the ground. Luke realized at that moment that he would no longer be able to survive. Therefore, he detonates 2 bombs with the intention of killing everyone present, including himself. He presses the bomb's trigger, setting off a small explosion that kills only Luke and leaves the others unharmed. However, all the bonds present were destroyed by fire. Red notices that his daughter is still inside the vault. Despite not having the key, he quickly uses his skills to open the vault. After several attempts, he successfully opens the vault and rescues his daughter. Red was aware that Ernesto was about to arrest him, but Ernesto assured him, "You didn't do anything wrong, and I know what was happening here, so I won't tell the police anything, and it's none of my business." Following this, Red departs with his family. Upon their return home, they find themselves once again in a state of sadness due to the destruction of all their bonds, their lack of money, and the damage to Chloe's paintings. However, their mood brightens when Derek, the owner of the art gallery, arrives. He informs them that all the paintings Chloe had previously deemed unappealing have now become popular due to the presence of blood splatters on them. By selling them, they earned millions of dollars, and all this money now belongs to Chloe. Everyone is very happy after getting this much money because with it, these people can start a new life. And the movie ends. Thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, Have a nice day.